Every real cowboy like myself knows how lonely it is out on the open range, which is why I listen to the Cowboy Boys podcast. With best contractually obligated friends, Shayne Smith and Mac Arthur, the Cowboy Boys will comfort your soul better than any disease-ridden saloon gal ever could. Cowboy Boys.
Pussy, butt, pussy. Dang.
Welcome to Cowboy Boys episode.
Were you recording with the butt pussies?
What episode is this?
It's a butt pussy episode.
No, what number? That's not a number. Episode 27? 26?
You know what I realized? I was like, man, was trying to remember the Jewish numerology episode, like numbers for the episodes, and I've remembered 0 of them. 18 was life. What was episode 18 about? Are you looking at the
What is Jewish numerology?
Jewish numerology is like the numbers like mean different things. God has a number assigned to him, but it's hidden.
Oh, like 666?
The mark of the
beast.
beast, the stuff like that. So like 18 is the number for L'chaim, which is life.
69 is the nice number.
Yes. I
Nice.
wonder what 69 means, actually. I don't know enough about the
In numerology?
Anyway, it's like Kabbalah shit, like mysticism, but I know that 18 is the number for life because when you have your bar mitzvah, your cheap people will be like, fuck giving him like real presents or like
That's when you can...
actual money. They'll give you a shitty check for $18 and it'll just say L'chaim on the thing, and you're like, I see what you did there.
when you're 18, people can jack off to you finally, and it's you're granted adult life. Also, a good number, 420. I wonder how many times that appears in the Bible.
Dude, I bet so many.
You think the burning bush? That's on this is in Genesis chapter 4, verse 20. Did you guys know that?
No.
Look it up right now.
Chapter 5. I wonder what all the 420 verses are.
Oh, there's probably some.
If you put all the 420 verses together, it's a separate Bible.
It's just the weed Bible.
Yeah, it just tells you. It's just like tells you to smoke trees, man.
I love when weed heads are just like, God wouldn't invent a plant that like it's all natural. It's meant to be used, and it's like everything's
Heroin's a plant.
I'm pretty sure arsenic occurs naturally.
Snake venom.
Lava. I wonder what the medical uses for
we're-
lava are.
We're just taking it to some pretty cool places.
Snake venom has some uses. You create anti-venom with snake venom,
Dude.
so there's a use.
You want to hear a cool story about snake venom?
No.
I was reading about this. Well, you're going to hear it anyway. I was reading about this Roman guy who he's like, fuck, I'm going to get poisoned. I can't remember his name. He was an emperor, and he's like, fuck, they're going to poison me. I fucking know it. They poison everybody. Because Agrippina, the world's first super serial killer, used poison.
That seems like if you're going to be a serial killer, poisoning people is pretty... It shouldn't count. You know, you shouldn't be able to be a serial killer. That's not... You got to have your hands on, knife or gun. Even a gun is like, really?
You gotta... Son of Sam was pretty weak. You were like, strangles one person. So she poisoned everybody, and then they caught her, and you know what? They train their punishment for her, and this is real, and everyone, this is a hard way to start the podcast, everybody, but you know what? I didn't do it, the Romans did. Call them about it.
What?
They were so mad at her for killing all those people that they had a guy, they went and found a specific dude, and I don't know what this guy's job was before he got this job, and he trained a giraffe to rape her to death in the arena in front of thousands of people, and they followed through on that shit. And so next time you're like, man, Texas shouldn't electrocute mentally disabled people to death, be like, you know what, the Romans really were going hard first.
Yeah, they were.
It's just like, can you imagine that giraffe is just like, I kind of don't really know what they're training me for, but I just wake up every day.
Feels good.
Yeah, and I fuck a sack of flour just up into pieces, and then I get to eat all the leaves I want and do giraffe stuff.
What?
And then one day it was this big day.
Why a giraffe? Why not something like a lion?
Dude, I don't know. The Romans were really into like weird exotic animals. And they killed all the Greek lions, so they had to import lions from Africa, and they were killing them because there used to be lions out that way.
And then
they occurred naturally.
I think it was like one of our first episodes where we talked about whether a bull could kill.
Oh
a bear.
yeah, the bull, and the people like went and looked it up, and they're like, man, bulls were fucking them up.
My favorite thing, 90s television, where it's just animal attack videos.
Dude.
Staying up late, and what's funny is those shows would drag on like 3 minutes of footage over 30 minutes.
Yeah,
and it just replay in slow motion.
Still be watchable.
It was so good. But nothing is more entertaining than watching an alligator bite someone.
So, whoops, phone's on. So this guy, he's like, shit, I'm gonna get poisoned to death. I know it. So he slowly ingests a little bit of poison every day, and he assumes it will make him invincible to poison. He's one of the first people to figure this out. And then he gets captured by the enemy one day, and he's like, fuck, I gotta die, or they're gonna torture me to death slowly and get all the secrets out of me and shit. And then he goes, I'll drink poison, and he drinks the poison to die, and then he didn't die because he made himself immune to poison. So they saw him drink the poison, they're like, oh fuck, he drank poison, like he's killing himself, so he won't give us information. And then he just lived and was fine, and they were like, oh, what the fuck? And he was like, yeah, I've actually was planning on not dying this way, so I guess I've fucked up pretty hard. And they were like, yeah, you did. And then they murdered him their way.
Cool story.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't he carry 2 different kinds of poison?
It doesn't. If you make yourself immune to poison, to like hardcore poisons, it will make you immune like across the board.
That's not true.
It is true.
So
if you eat lots of Mexican food that's really spicy, you will also be able to survive Thai spicy food.
You know what? Your analogy is rock solid.
Thank you.
So I can't refute that.
I think that if he like had tried to poison himself with modern poisons, like how we are just like bite the anthrax pill, he would have died.
Have a little bit of fentanyl.
But back then their poisons were all just like plant or venom.
It was like, smoke this really strong weed.
Whoa.
And like, oh no, I died. That is funny how the stories of like old people smoking weed is just they're getting too crazy now. People are like, you can't die from weed, but we're getting there. We're gonna get there to where someone dies from weed.
What do you think? Could you die if you took too many mushrooms?
No.
What if I was like...
I mean, depending on the mushroom, you can take a little bit and it'll kill you.
Oh, yeah, true.
There's very poisonous mushrooms out there. Are you asking about psychedelic mushrooms?
Yeah.
Because there are psychedelic mushrooms, I'm pretty sure, that will also kill you.
Oh, really?
So that you could be like... Because there's thousands of different varieties. But some of them do not. Some of them are just really tasty and edible, like shiitakes and portobellas, and then the other ones are make you all crazy. I think the Mario mushroom.
Yeah.
The red ones with the white dots.
Yeah, they make you big.
I think. Speaking of immunities, it's like shamans back in the day used to like eat a little bit, and if you eat like a whole one, it'll kill you. But you eat a little bit, build up a tolerance. And so you'd become immune to the red poison mushrooms. I think reindeers also eat them. Reindeers are just like immune. But anyway,
is that why you see them fly?
Oh, maybe. But then the shamans would like have all this. They'd eat a bunch of mushrooms, trip, and then they'd take their pee and piss into like a jar, and then people drink their pee and also get high off of their mushroom pee because they were immune, and their body would filter out all the poisons.
That's fucking metal.
But I think you could also just drink reindeer piss and it'll get you pretty high.
Oh, wow.
Man, drugs back in the day, so much more work.
Just imagining 9 guys trying to keep a reindeer calm while one's just laying underneath him, like, it's gonna happen.
Yeah. I feel like we're very just Joe Rogan podcast right now. So let me bring up my one note. Remember that video where we watched that chimp eating the coconut?
Yeah, it's so scary. It's so scary.
He just opened the coconut like it was an orange. Just peeled off the skin with one hand.
You're just leaning farther into the Joe Rogan vibes.
I know.
Isn't he way into chimps?
No, I know. That's why I brought it up. That was my only note in the show notes. It's like when we run out of...
How scary.
When we run out of ideas...
Oh, wait. How far are we in? We've done an hour?
We've done 10 minutes.
God, fuck. That chimp is so scary. He literally like, I don't know, I was handling a coconut earlier, so when I saw him, he just like breaks it so simply like almost like it's like not even.
Dude, it was like peeling an orange.
Yeah. This is why I've never looked up a chimp attack video. I'm sure you can find a chimp just peeling someone's head open like
There's
that.
the audio of that lady who had the pet chimp, and it like ripped off her face. I think there's a picture. I think there's pictures of her after, and she's just like has no eyeballs.
I saw her on Oprah as a kid. And I remember like being like, "What happened?" And then Oprah was like, "So you bought the chimp a birthday cake?" And I was like, "She bought it cake and it did that to her?" It's like, we gotta fucking stop these chimps. But then it turns out they're dumb as hell, so we're safe.
They get angry. What do you think set them off?
Dude, probably
just
prefers ice cream cake.
His name is Travis, the chimpanzee.
That's what. Firstly, you're really setting the chimp up for failure by naming it Travis.
Oh, I don't want. He's dead. 2009.
Did they put him down?
Yeah, and he lived in Texas, so they they gave him the death penalty. It was actually
just imagine 9 guards trying to hold him down while they lethally inject a monkey. Like he can't be stopped.
I was thinking like the electric chair.
Dude, monkeys and electric chairs. That's pretty funny.
They did that to that one elephant. Remember back in the day?
Yes, Edison wanted to kill it.
Well, I think did the elephant do anything bad, or was Edison just
no.
I think what it was
what do you
Tesla
mean did anything bad?
I don't know. What if
this
it was
elephant raped a circus worker? We got to do something about this.
Yeah, I mean, elephants are there's probably some bad elephants out there.
Dude,
they're smart.
They remember everything.
Think of the guilt if you were a bad elephant.
I think
you'd have to live with your whole life.
The elephant saw something it wasn't supposed to see, and they're like, he'll remember forever. We've got to fucking stop him. And then Edison was like, I've always wanted to kill an elephant.
I actually think what the story was Tesla was like, hey, check out my, I don't know. Remember?
Open current.
Yeah, or direct current?
Direct current. He was like, hey, direct current is the way to go. And Edison was like, it's dangerous. And then Edison was like, you're just too stupid to understand my genius.
Alternating currents where it's at.
And then everyone was like, I don't know, Edison doesn't have sex with women and carries birds in his pockets.
That's Tesla.
Yeah, sorry. They're like, Tesla doesn't. Well, Edison is also a cuck, but Tesla he's a real Chad, but he doesn't. It's choice. Edison is just a pussy.
He wanted to fuck that pigeon.
Yeah. So they're just like, Tesla doesn't fuck and he carries pigeons in his pockets. We think he's the type of genius we should be listening to. And Edison got all mad. And then Edison was like, well, I'll show you guys that it's dangerous. Let me borrow an elephant. And they were like, what for? And Edison was like, don't worry about it. And then he fucking electrocuted it to death in front of everyone.
And they're like, see how dangerous it is?
Yeah. And Tesla was like, I don't think Tesla even had a rebuttal. He was like, well, it's pretty cool when he electrocuted the elephant to death.
I told you it works. Well, turns out they were both wrong, and we use both the types of electricity for different things.
Also,
fucking morons.
Yeah. I mean, Tesla had an earthquake machine. That's what I want to get at.
Did he?
Yeah. Edison should have killed the elephant with the earthquake machine. That's like supposedly he had like doomsday weapons he had made. That was like his big thing at the end of his life, and the government seized all his plans.
Wait, wasn't this like in the 1800s?
Yes. They were scared of him. They were like...
Was his earthquake machine just like a bunch of dynamite that he would bury with a shovel?
It's like a magic trick.
Yeah.
He really had, like, they talked about it. The government seized it. They were just like, no one can have this. Why did you make this? And he's like, I fuck birds.
Earthquake machine. I don't believe this.
Look it up.
I am.
It's a conspiracy theory.
And it turned into HARP. That's the new government thing that's burning the... You don't know about HARP?
What is HARP? What they set the fire is someone's burning down Australia on purpose.
That's like what they say: earthquakes, volcanoes, tornadoes.
All government.
Every hurricane, it's controlled by the government can control the weather, and it's very, very conspiracy.
What does the government stand to gain by controlling the weather?
Making us all fearful and rely on them for public aid. I don't know.
I was like, it feels like it makes no sense.
I mean, which conspiracy does make sense?
You know what's so funny? I was thinking about flat Earth like I do a lot, actually. I think about flat Earth more than I should. I knew someone who believed in flat Earth.
You meet a lot of those in Utah.
Yeah, you do, actually.
People just...
There's a dude who, remember the dude who built his own rocket, and he was like, I'll go to the moon my damn self. And it was like, and then he broke his back and like all this other stuff trying to fly in his rocket. And I've known other flat Earth enthusiasts who are like, you send a weather balloon with a camera, but once it gets up there, the government steals the weather balloon and then doctors the footage when it falls down. It's like, okay, that's a crazy thing for you to say. So they put all this energy into like building rockets and risking their lives to go straight up, but like, how come no flat Earth people have been like, I have a boat, I'm just gonna sail to the edge of the world and prove to you that the government will stop me, or I'll find the edge of the world.
All right. So far on this podcast, we pissed off Scientologists, astrologists, and now you're gonna go after flat earthers.
I think that
we're gonna have too many enemies.
Dude, they can't flat
They're
earthers
gonna team up
us.
against us.
I think of all the people, I'm most scared of the Scientologists.
I feel like I can't remember what the flat earth argument is. Like, there's
a seawall, remember?
They think a seawall?
So they think the earth is perfectly flat because there's no curve. How could water be flat if the earth is curved? And it's like actually it explains itself very well, but sure.
I believe in concave earth. We're on the inside.
Have you ever been out to sea?
Yeah.
You could just see the curve. You just look out and the horizon bends.
I don't know. It looks pretty flat.
Okay, well, anyway, so the fucking they're just like, why would it be flat? And so they think that around the earth is a giant wall of ice, and that's what like Antarctica and shit is. So we're just like a big bowl, like a bowl, and the ice keeps the water in this giant wall of ice. And then the government, quote unquote, and by government I mean what I didn't expect to find when I was researching flat earth was that people think that Jews are keeping the earth round in people's minds.
They're keeping it round.
Dude, so many. I went to like a convention once and I was talking to people like as a joke, but people were just like, yeah, and the Jews, and I was like, oh my God, like damn, everybody's really anti-Semitic here. But they think the Jews, that we, my people, we're just keeping everyone from knowing that there's an ice wall.
Yeah.
So that's why America spent so much money on the Navy, not because of the world wars, but because of the ice wall.
And I don't like those conspiracy theorists because come on, everyone knows the Jews control Hollywood. They don't control the government.
That's
right. The shadow government.
we all got together and we were like, what do we want to do? And we were like, everyone's better at singing and dancing than us. And then we were like, let's buy singing and dancing. And we did. We own it now.
I don't like your stereotypical Jew voice you're
Dude,
doing.
It's one of the only impressions I can do.
It feels offensive to me. Wait, let me try it.
We're going to do the... Wait, why?
We're going to make movies.
Your stereotypical Jew voice is just a white guy that's constipated.
There you go.
So pretty good.
Yeah, I don't know what they would have to gain from flat Earth.
Dude, no one has been able to explain it to me. I knew a guy who was like, he was at the flat Earth thing that I went to. And this is real. The flat Earth people don't like him. He goes to the flat...
Imagine being ostracized in the flat Earth community.
Well, he goes to the flat Earth people, and he's like, you guys are on the right track. I was once one of you. My eyes were awake that science is a lie, but you must understand...
Is he on my level with
concave Earth? Yeah. So he thinks like we're inside of the Earth.
This guy gets it.
And that the sun is in the middle.
Yes.
And it like turns, and like it turns off, and then it turns back on or whatever. And that we are...
Yeah, there's a dark side of the sun and a light side of the sun, just like the moon.
So he thinks that we're on the inside. Which I don't even, dude. I was just like, I literally was like, I think I said out loud, I was like, you're blowing my mind right now. But I said it in such a way that I was just like, dude, you're so fucking wild and stupid. And he was so into concave Earth. He was like, I know, I've awoken you.
I'm actually would like to hear more. If Shayne's offending you like he is me, please email us at Cowboy Boys Podcast all your flat Earth conspiracy theories. Or concave Earth, if you're on that level. I would love to hear more. God, why do I love conspiracy theories? But I think like the flat Earth people, they're planned by the normal government to distract us with crazy conspiracies from the real conspiracies.
What's the real conspiracies?
That we're just blowing trillions of dollars on endless wars.
Oh, okay. I mean,
so,
I'll buy that one.
So it's just like, hey, look over there. There's Bigfoot. And everyone's like, oh, my God.
Yeah, that's fair. My favorite thing is when you're like, so Earth is flat, and they're like, yeah, and then some flat Earth people where you're like, what about the moon? And they're like, oh no, that's round. You're like, what? Oh fuck, come on,
Yeah,
that doesn't make sense. Why is the moon round?
Even though you can only see one side of the moon ever, you think that would be flat?
Yeah, some of them think the moon is a hologram. That's what they're just
No,
like, it's a projection, and I'm like. Yeah, but the moon is well documented. Like Sumerian tablets talk about the moon. So a 10,000-year-old language talks about the moon, one of the first human languages. They're like, yeah, holograms.
Yeah.
They're like, so the hologram projector is that old? And they're like, oh yeah. What?
Whoever's in charge has had hologram technology for a while.
Then you combine aliens with flat Earth.
Okay, that's too far. I don't like aliens.
Dude, it's just fucking too much. Mole people. Remember when one of the presidents?
So real quick, do mole people fall below Jews or in between Jews and lizard people on the hierarchy of aliens, lizard people, mole people? Are Jews? Is Jews just the skin cover when these mole people and lizard people are in their human form? I'm asking you because I don't know.
So, back in the day,
I would like to know the ranking.
Lizard people were kind of interchangeable with Jewish people.
Yes.
That's where like they're like Jewish people shapeshift to hide their horns, and like Gentiles would be like, we can't. I don't know if you know, it's like during the very first crusade, everyone's like, oh, the crusades were against Muslims. Firstly, the first crusades weren't against Muslims. The first crusades were the Byzantine Empire, the second Roman Empire. Byzantine, whatever.
I've heard it on television.
Oh my God. But you could pronounce it both ways.
Yeah,
the Eastern Roman Empire is fucking kind of lame. So anyway, the Eastern Roman Empire was like, oh, we lost all this land. Let's convince the Pope to get it back for us. And that was that. It wasn't like a racist or an anti-Muslim thing. It was like a Romans tricking everybody thing. But all the
Big government.
So what happened was all these knights from France and Germania at the time, or in Germania was like 10 different countries. They were on their way to help to get these places back and do the crusades, but they were like pit stop, and they killed 10,000 Jews in Europe on the way to do it. And then most of those guys that killed those Jews were like, I feel like we've done enough. And they just went back home. And Jewish people were like, well, what the fuck was that about? And then so the first crusades, which were really successful, would have been like 3 times as successful. But a ton of knights were like, oh, we fucking got all tuckered out from killing Jews. So
think about how much do you have to kill before you're like, I'm bored?
Dude, apparently 10,000 is the magic number.
I feel like you'd get your bloodlust satiated after every guy kills like 10 people.
I think if you have a sword, yeah, probably like 5 people, and you're like, oh man, I've hacked like quite a few people today.
I get it.
If you have a gun, it's a lot more.
Yeah, it's more removed.
Yeah, because then it's like Mao.
So
those guys are really going hard in the paint.
I see you're using your mind control tricks to distract me from my original question.
What was it?
The hierarchy.
Oh yeah. So
aliens at top.
Anyway, lizards and Jewish people are interchangeable. So we are like, right there on the same level. Mole people are a different thing.
Mole people, they're underground. They don't like to meddle with humans.
In the late 1800s.
They keep the molten core spinning so our magnetic poles stay.
A lot of people were really into mole people. Like
in the 1800s?
Mm-hmm. So
I think underground used to be the space.
Yeah.
Because they're like, what's under there?
So the way that people now are like flat earth, and then sometimes, I've met quite a few real life people who if I had not known, I would have been like, you're a normal, nice guy.
Wait, think about this. If concave Earth is real, then that means outer space is underground.
Whoa.
And mole people are the aliens. And
There
oh my God. Flip
yeah,
the whole ranking upside down.
I don't know how a concave Earth works or how deep is ground infinite?
Ground goes infinite.
Whoa.
And space doesn't exist, I guess, in concave Earth.
Or you get through Earth and into space, but then what is space? Is it like warped reality? I don't know. We'll have to look it up one day.
Yeah.
But so mole people was the big thing. Lots of people were like, mole people are real. There were people passing out pamphlets in New York. It was such a problem that a U.S. president was like,
mole people.
Let's get an expedition going to the center of the Earth, and that was they really for real put money into this, and then
Dwayne The Rock Johnson was in that
movie.
In a movie. Brendan Fraser was also in one of those Journey to the Center of the Earth movies.
Before pit stopping in Egypt, he was like, got to get to the center of the Earth. Yeah, man. They thought mole people were real. They weren't. So
you know what sucks is we named our last episode Coast to Coast AM.
And we're doing the conspiracies on this one.
No, we spent like 5 minutes talking about this one, and this one we spent so much more time.
Yeah, but we're not doing cool Coast to Coast stuff. We're doing the like wackadoo.
What do you mean wacky?
You know. Okay. I see where you're coming from. I like the ones where people are like, Jackie shot John Kennedy. That's the crazy ones. You're like, what? And they're like, yeah, Jackie did it. Oh. Like, it's videotaped. And they're like, no, she did. She had a gun in her.
Yeah, because she was jealous.
Yeah. And then
about Marilyn Monroe.
And then she decided to blow his head off in public on camera instead of just in private, where she could like say he was reloading a gun and it went off in his face.
Because like Marilyn Monroe was like, think of how many women you can have under communism, and she's blowing JFK, and he's just like, I like these ideas, and Jackie was like, no, capitalism must stay, and the CIA gave her the gun.
So you think Jackie was based and she was all about capitalism?
I think based is the term. Yeah, I don't know.
I mean,
I'm just along for the ride. You know, I'm a libertarian at heart. So communism, capitalism. I guess capitalism leans towards libertarianism. But
yeah, you can't be a libertarian and a communist. It's impossible.
I think you can.
What?
Isn't that what Noam Chomsky is?
Explain that to me.
My buddy just told me that.
I actually realized I don't understand communism. The other day I was like, wait, how does income work in communism?
Oh, yeah, we're talking about socialism and communism.
I know how socialism works, because socialism has a democratic component to it. Socialism still leaves room for like innovation and human excellence and sort of like, you know, all the things that capitalism does. Like, people can still starve to death and shit under socialism. It's just supposed to minimize societal suffering. Communism is supposed to be the idea that, like, not one person in your society starves, but also no one gets to excel except for everyone, like the very, very tippy 0.000001%.
Yeah, like people with podcasts.
Yeah.
We're at the top.
Yeah, would anyone be podcasting in communism?
Probably.
I don't think
there'd be
so.
Underground guerrilla podcasts.
Dude, there were these guys in Eastern Germany that used to do radio shows, like hidden, and they would talk about how they're building like homemade planes or like digging tunnels to escape communism, and then some of them actually pulled it off. There were dudes who like hang glided over the wall and shit, and the communists were trying to shoot them. It's pretty fucking cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't got anything for that. You're going too historical, and I can't keep up. I'm like, man, history's not funny at all.
Dude, no, history's so funny. What are you talking about? I'm trying. Let me think of a funny history story.
Let's hear it.
When Caesar got kidnapped by pirates, that's a pretty good story.
It's not that funny.
What? He
just convinced all the pirates to like, hey, don't kill me, let's party, and they're like, okay, and then they partied.
Way crazier.
And then when they got back, he's like, oh, we're all best friends now. Can we hang out with you, Caesar? And then Caesar's like, nope, and they killed them all.
And firstly, they kidnapped him and they tried to ransom him, and he was like, you fucking dummies, you're doing it wrong. And then he had them ransom him for more money than what they asked for. And then they were like, okay, well, everyone get out of here and go get the money and come back. And he was like, no, fuck you. these people stay. That guy's my best friend. I want him to stay. And the pirates were like, you don't make the rules. And Caesar was like, shut the fuck up, stupid, and slapped the main pirate. And he was like, fine. And he let Caesar keep his best friend. And then Caesar famously made the pirates watch him do poetry and shit, and like had story time, and then like made the pirates love him. And then he went to their island and hung out with them, and they were like way into Caesar, and he was like helping to teach them to pirate better because he was like a soldier, so he knew about naval tactics and stuff. And then he finally went home, and they were like, Caesar, you're the best. You can, if you ever need help or anything, we'll help you. And he was like, I know that we're friends, but I'm telling you guys right now, I'm going to come back and I'm going to crucify you. And they were like, what? And he was like, oh, no, I'm going to fucking nail you to a cross and torture all of you to death. You can't just kidnap me. And they're like, you're a wild guy. What a funny joke, Caesar. And he's like, it is pretty funny, isn't it? And then he left. And then the Roman government was like, we arrested those guys and we're going to execute them. And he's like, no, wait. And he paid them to wait, showed up in person. And they're like, oh, you're here to save us, Caesar. And he's like, actually, I'm here to crucify you. And they're like, what? No way. And then he was like, yep, pretty funny joke. And then he crucified them all himself. So hilarious.
Sorry, I'm still thinking about Travis the chimpanzee. Do you notice how my story took like 2 sentences? I should do history classes. Everyone got the same thing. You just had to be more.
Travis the chimpanzee fucked a lady's face up. End of story.
There you go. What more information do you need?
I want to know how he did it. Did he thumb her face? Did he punch her in the face?
Do you remember how that video of the chimp opening a coconut?
Oh, no.
That's probably. You ever notice how a human skull is about the size of a big coconut?
He went ahead and peeled her.
He probably wasn't even really attacking her. He just like blump ripped her face off.
God.
Chimps are cool. You want to read some emails?
Yeah, read them.
We got more emails. Here's one from Lindsay. Fingerprints for everyone are unique and no 2 hands are the same. Do pussies feel different when fucking?
Is that real?
That's a real email.
That's yes. Yes, they do.
For you ladies that don't know, very yes.
Yeah.
Pussies.
It's crazy different.
I think they vary as much as dicks.
Yeah, no, for real. They absolutely do. And it has nothing to do with your size. Some pussies are real tight. Some pussies aren't. Some pussies are fucking, you can just feel yourself hitting the back of it. Some pussies you can't. Some are deeper. Some are fucking curved.
It's, you know how there's no micro pussies.
No. No, I mean, but there's shallow.
There's deep pussies and wide pussies.
I've been with girls where they're like, you can't just like plow me because I'll die. So you're like, oh man,
cool.
No, yeah, I want to plow.
No, I want to ease it in slowly.
So you feel huge.
Yes, that's the porn star conspiracy.
Oh, that they're all small.
Well, remember we went to the AVNs that
true.
1 year and. Because on camera, every porn star looks like 5'5".
True.
But in reality, they're like 4'5".
No, it's so true. They're all tiny with big dicks, and so it makes it. Their dicks are not as big as you think they are.
No, every like male porn star is our height. They're just 5'10", 6'2", around there, and then they're just normal looking dudes. But every female porn star is. Woo, they're so small.
Yeah, it's crazy how small they are.
The camera tricks they pull.
Yeah, it's like they're so small that it's almost uncomfortable to imagine fucking them. Honestly,
maybe for you.
Yeah, no, for me definitely.
With my averagely small wiener, it's perfect.
I don't know why. I'm just imagining some girl being like, ooh, the extra length from your foreskin. You get extra thickness from the foreskin, right?
Yes, I do.
Dude, cool.
Here's speaking of foreskins, Nick wants to know, hey guys, love the show. One small question. If Mac was to get a circumcision and deep fry his foreskin into pork rinds, seasoned however
I'm
you
already
prefer,
on board.
obviously, would either of you be willing to eat said deep fried foreskin?
I mean, I'd try.
I would not want to get circumcised, but I would try foreskin, like pork rind foreskin. Why isn't? Do animals Does someone has to have already done that, like with animals.
Deep fried their foreskin?
Because people eat like Rocky Mountain oysters are like.
True.
What are those, cow balls?
Yeah, I mean,
Ox
people
balls?
just eat dick. I'm sure.
I love pork rinds.
I thought you were going to say you love eating dick. I was like, whoa. Actually, I'm not a huge fan of pork rinds, but I would try. If it was max foreskin specifically, I'd be like, it'd be rude not to eat your foreskin.
Here's a pro tip for all you husky fellows out there trying to do keto. Pork rinds are keto.
Are they really?
They're just oil and fat. It's fried fat. It's like fried skin.
Jesus.
There's no carbs in pork rinds. So if you're doing keto, just fucking munch on those. They're a good replacement for chips. That was the only like actually smart thing we've learned on the podcast today.
No.
Is pork rinds are keto.
We learned that some pussy is extra super good for no reason. And also, just so you know, the best pussies are usually attached to the worst people. I don't know if that's how dicks work, but...
Probably. I think what you're trying to say is crazy people have the best genitals and
somehow.
fuck game.
Yeah, dude, God just knows, and he fucking... that's the boulder you're pushing up the hill that rolls back down every time. You're
I feel like normal people have normal genitals and normal sex. Crazy, insane people, they just fuck better.
I remember, dude.
Get you a depressed guy. He fucks better. Trust me. I do.
I remember when I was younger and I was like, I don't want to do this, but my dick is making me. It was one of those where you're just like making a really bad decision. And there's this girl she was so hot, and I remember before I hit on her at this party, I saw her back. It just had a huge tattoo that said Juggalette on her back. She was wild. And so anyway, we're about to fuck, and I was like, before I put it in, I was like, this is gonna be next level, I know. And as soon as I did, I was like, oh my God, it is. I was right the whole time. I told all my friends. They were like, yeah, we knew it would be crazy.
Juggalette's probably fuck on a
dude. She was so, and then after
unknown level,
dude. And then after we fucked, she was like, I have to go to the store to buy more skull. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe she was chewing. Yeah. Because you can't smoke in your house, but she was too lazy to go outside to smoke, so you just chew.
Can you put chewing tobacco or chewing packets like in your pussy and get nicotine high?
Yes, I think you would get very high from it.
Cool. I guess could you boof nicotine?
Because don't girls...
You know what boofing is, right?
Yeah.
It's butt chugging.
Don't girls put... like alcohol-soaked things in their pussies to get drunk?
Well, people do that. Teenagers do that with tampons, and they soak tampons in alcohol or vodka and stick it up their ass.
Whoa.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
Because the nice thing about drinking alcohol is you'll be like, all right, I've had 5 shots, and I'm pretty fucked up, and it takes like a while for it to absorb. Your body's really good at absorbing it slowly.
Yeah, you can regulate.
Where when it's in your intestines, it just goes straight into your blood, and you'll die if you drink too much.
All gas, no brakes.
Yeah, and so you can, but it is a good way to get fucked up fast.
Yeah.
I was reading an article about a bunch of drunk teenagers, and I think they breathalyzed the teenagers, and they're just completely sober, but they were all fucked up.
Dude, just imagine an episode of Cops where the cop has got the breathalyzer in a teenager's ass.
It's like, all right,
you're just farting.
Give me a little toot.
Dude.
Blowing way too, I guess, yeah.
Like that lady who can suck farts into her butt and push them out.
That was a cool lady.
That was a cool lady. She was pretty hot. Would you, if you saw a girl farting like that and she was that hot, would you still have sex with her?
Yeah, not in her butt, but I would still have normal. I'd have normal sex with her.
What if a girl could queef that loud?
You know what? That would make me more attracted to her. Think of the muscles required to queef.
Ooh.
She could probably like grab onto your dick and tie it into a knot.
True.
With her pussy muscles. Just rock.
Yeah, if you can suck air into your pussy, that's crazy. I've been with some girls who can like flex their pussy so hard that it's like genuinely strangles your dick. It's pretty cool. They make those yoni eggs that you put into your pussy that are like made of stone, and then you like hold them in while you walk around. Ugh. And it makes your pussy strong.
Is that like Gwyneth Paltrow's pussy rocks?
I don't know. I think it's the equivalent of like those Japanese monks that just tie weights to their dicks.
Oh, yeah.
And they're like, my dick is stronger. And you're like, I know that's not how weightlifting works.
There's those guys who regrow, air quote, their foreskin by putting weights on the skin around their dick and slowly pulling their skin. And so they have like this kind of for regrown foreskin. It's just stretching the skin.
Jesus.
I don't think it works that way. Once it's gone, you just got to deal with it.
I saw a photo of a guy that had the longest foreskin, and he was trying to make an argument that he had the longest dick.
Oh, is that Mexican guy with like tumors that is like he has like a 3-foot dick? But his dick, they like did a
no.
They did like they did a scan on it, and it's like, yeah, your dick is like 6 inches. You just have tumorous growth all the way down. He's like, no, it's real.
Calling his wife, honey, I have bad news. And she's like, what is it? Are you dying? And he's like, yeah, but even worse, I have a 6-inch dick.
Well, and he won't get it removed because he likes being the world record that it's as big as his leg. It's like the other guy who really has the world's biggest dick. He's like a 14 or 15-inch dick.
He lives here in New York.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, and he cries. He's like, no woman loves me.
Oh, no, I thought he was
want to fuck my giant dick.
Well, I thought that his whole thing was he's like, I'm trying to be a serious actor. I will not do porn. And it's like, come on, dude.
Yeah, dude.
You don't want to do porn?
Fucking blow someone up with that thing.
God. Who is turning down porn? As like a guy with the biggest dick, I'd do it.
What a waste. If you have the dude,
if I had 3 balls, I'd be like, hey everybody, I'm doing porn now.
Here's the thing: if you've got the biggest dick in the world, you're gonna be so confident you don't even need to do. But like, you know what I mean?
Maybe. Yeah.
He's like, of course I can be a famous actor. My dick is 15 inches long. You dumbass.
I can't even understand with my 6-inch dick brain, my small brain. I'm like, I can't even comprehend that amount of confidence.
They put him in the new Cats movie, but they had to remove him because they couldn't CGI out his dick. It was too big. It broke the budget.
All right.
You know that
good modern reference.
They CGI'd out everyone's penises.
Oh, did they really?
Yeah. Yo, I thought you knew.
They didn't film it nude.
No, everyone was wearing leotards, and they genuinely, this is not a joke.
They had to remove the bulges?
They removed the bulges, yeah, because they were like, one of the guys.
Cats have bulges, though.
Jason Derulo apparently famously has like a 1-foot-long dick.
Cool.
And so they you can't just roll your dick up. That's not how that works. So he just had he was just hanging brain to the left. And they were like, oh my God, we have to CGI out the dicks. So they had to CGI out his dick. It was a whole thing.
That's where they blew the budget.
Yeah, dude. Fucking cats, man.
Here's one more email. Sadie emailed us and she sent us a picture of her on a horse. Check that out. She's actually an equestrian lady.
Whoa!
Riding a horse.
Speaking of huge dicks, there's a horse right there.
Oh, you can't see his dick.
Mammals represent.
Oh, she loves listening to our podcast with around all the other horse girls.
Wait, is she jumping the horse or is she doing?
Yeah, she's doing all that horse jumping stuff.
So she's not doing. It's not corsage. What is it when horses dance?
It's called horse dancing.
I don't know. There's a name for it. I can't remember it. It's really stupid though.
Anyway, she clicked on our podcast expecting something way different. But then she's glad that it is what it is.
Hell yeah,
so
dude.
She's asking us, how did we come up with the name Cowboy Boys?
Well,
I don't know how we came up with that. That was just something we started saying.
I think that we came up with it kind of because we're from Utah, and a lot of people from Utah are
Cowboys.
they're also self-hating. They're like, they want to be from California. They want to distance themselves from being hicks or being backwoods or whatever. And you and I are like, fucking guns and ATVs and cowboys and horses are awesome. Why are you being pussies about this? So both of us were like, no way, we are cowboys. And so yeah, we leaned into it, and then you were like, we're cowboy boys, which is a hilarious thing to say.
I remember coming up with that.
You did come up with it. This is all Mac, everybody. So then we said it to stunt on and infuriate our peers in Utah, and now we live in New York, and they are still in Utah, which is ironic, but we have the name still, and we're Cowboy Boys.
I'm not stunting on anyone, but I do.
You absolutely are.
I feel like also compare when you're on the coast, oh yeah, Utah is cowboy.
Yeah, for
it's
sure.
It's so wild when people I forget how casual guns are in Utah. How many people I did see. We're not like Alabama, But people do open carry in 7-Elevens.
Yeah, you'll just see a guy with a gun out. He's not a cop. He's just a guy with a gun.
I feel like we hit that sweet zone where there are people open carrying, but you're not so uncomfortable with them open carrying.
Yeah, everyone.
It's not everyone.
Honestly, the people you see open carrying are always. It's always a pistol. It's always like well kept.
They have cowboy boots on.
Yeah,
their jeans are. Their shirt is tucked into their jeans.
Yeah, they look harmless. Like they don't look like a school shooter. I don't like when you see someone. Like when I was in Texas, I saw someone open carrying.
Were they overweight?
No, he looks like he looked like an anime guy.
Did he have like the sharp sunglasses?
Yeah, and I was just like, I don't like this. He had like a fucking furry shirt type deal. I was just like, this is
a furry shirt.
He shouldn't
like a
have.
Fur,
yeah,
like
no,
furry,
like
fan
furry
fur?
the fans. Like he's into yiffing.
Oh, what? Honest, like a My Little Pony shirt.
Yeah,
and a gun.
Yeah, exactly.
All right,
and I was like, oh god.
Yeah.
And not to bemoan, is that the word?
I will belittle My Little
furries?
Pony and furries.
I think My Little Pony as a fandom is fucked up, but furries, like, get down, whatever. I don't know. If you want to wear a costume, I like.
I have seen a lot of furries and gun owners crossover. I wonder what the appeal is.
Dude, that is interesting. Well, I mean,
you know what? I'm gonna shoot a gun in a fursuit, and maybe I'm gonna love it.
Dude, fuck yeah. Your fursona is just like, what if you
my
were like,
gun sona?
Listen, yeah, you're like, listen, I vote Democrat, but my fursona is a gun-loving maniac wolf. So what do you want from me?
Is your fursona like a completely different character?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So can you like have two different identities?
Yes, that's like the idea.
My fursona is a Nazi, which I have seen.
That's real.
Furry
yes.
Nazis online.
There are furry Nazis.
But I do vote for Bernie, like in real life.
So fun. So yeah, the idea behind your fursona is that you build a character who's like a mascot, and they represent like how you wish you could be. So that you can express yourself. It's kind of like how, have you ever just texted a girl you were in the same room with because it's hard to argue with words? Like, it's just too uncomfortable. I've done that shit. It's so stupid, but I have.
Well,
I've done that.
It's easy. Sometimes it's easier to like text, like sit down, take like 5 minutes to send a simple text of what you're thinking, and then be like, I'm sorry I yelled at you.
Yes.
Here's what I meant. And then they're like, okay.
Whereas
and then you talk to them in person, and you're like, I'm so stupid.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas if I talk to them in person, I'm just like, they start crying. I get turned on from seeing them cry. Yeah. It's like a whole thing. Yeah, so that's what the fursona is. It's kind of like you're like one step removed from the world because you're in a fursuit, and people can't see who you are, and you get to express yourself. And the fursona is not like really a reflection of you, so there are like Nazi fursonas. And they like wear SS stuff, and I think that they're okay. Like they're still gay. I don't know, man.
Gay Nazi furries. Do you think they like? Do you think the wolf Nazi furries are like coyote furries must be purged?
Yeah, no, they have like weird storylines. Like they're like, my blue jay fursona doesn't like falcon fursonas, and they'll like legitimately lean into it. Like,
are they like fur conventions?
Yeah,
they're like, don't talk. There's furism.
Well,
fur. What would be the species?
I hear that the dog fursonas don't hang out with the cat fursonas. That's real.
That makes sense.
Yeah, dude.
If you're a furry and you listen, I know you listen to our fucked up podcast.
True. We have furry listeners.
Please let us know what's going on with speciesism in the furry community.
Also, tell us about your fursona.
Yeah, send us nudes of you in your fursuit.
Oh my god, dude! And not all furries yiff, which is when there's a sexual component. Your fursona. A lot of people's fursonas are asexual.
But a lot of furries do yiff.
I would say most furries yiff. Listen, if you're gonna spend that money on a fursuit, you're gonna fuck in it.
Why wouldn't you?
Dude, I would fuck. If a hot girl was like, I have a fursona, and I would, before she finished the sentence, I would be like, I will fuck you as an eagle. Yes.
There's that old episode of Andy Richter Controls the Universe. Mm-hmm. It's one of my favorite episodes because he starts dating the perfect girl. She's like absolutely stunning, a 10 out of 10, blonde bombshell, just does so nice, like cooks for him and everything, and he's just like way out of his league. And then she turns out to be like a Nazi. She's just casually like, oh yeah, like death to the Jews. And he's just like, all right, we're gonna have to get over this. All of his friends are like, you gotta dump her. But I'd be like, she's perfect in every other way, but she's a Nazi. Would you be okay with me dating the perfect woman if she was a Nazi, Shayne? Like, with her coming over?
Would she be cool with me? Would she just be like...
No, she'd be... I think she was, like,
hey,
cool. She's just like, hey, yeah, your people are bad, and I think we should, like, glass Israel.
I don't know.
But you as an individual, like, I don't have a problem.
There's already so many people like that I think I'd be like, whatever. As long as you suck Mac's dick good.
That's where I'm coming from.
Dude, I could care less, honestly. There's something about,
but
like...
every now and then, she, like, when she's holding a knife, she looks at you.
Okay, well, that's where we got to draw the line somewhere.
Just your door locks, right?
That's very complicated because I'm like, if the Nazis fucking my South American roommate... I mean, that does sound like something that would happen.
Yeah.
Nazis do fuck South Americans.
Nazis did go to Argentina. Argentina. All those Argentinian Nazis.
Yeah, South America has always been down for the cause. I think Brazil was the only South American country in World War II to contribute to the Allied war effort. Yeah. Everyone else was kind of like, we secretly hope this works out for Germany.
You know what? Some of the craziest videos online, we're actually going into history stuff.
Yeah.
Again, is there was not only the Nazi like roots in South America in the Civil War times. there was the South.
Yeah.
The what do you call them in
Confederacy?
the Confederate people in like Brazil.
Yeah.
And they still celebrate like General Lee and are we like the South will rise again. We were watching all those like Brazilians or whatever.
If you guys want to have your fucking minds blown, look up South American Confederates. They have huge holidays, giant communities where all these South American people are flying Confederate flags, wearing Confederate uniforms, talking about their Confederate roots. It's
the Confederate colonies. Let's see. I think they're called the Confederados.
Dude.
They're like Portuguese Confederates.
Yeah.
They just have parties and they're all... It's like a weird South American party, but then you're like, oh, wait, that's the Confederate flag. There's General Lee.
Yeah.
But they're just still like...
Dude, I love that your version of your own people's music is so bad.
That's what it sounds like. What do you mean?
Bum, 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 bum. No, wait, that's Aladdin. What am I thinking of?
There's your people's music, the Middle East.
You got me.
Man. I would if the South does rise again, it will be from South America.
Definitely it would be. People forget that only recently did it like white people don't. Latin people get the pass. Like they've kind of been white throughout history. Like in World War II, like there was not a lot of racism against South Americans or Latin people until recently.
I don't even think recently. Like I feel like we kind of barely exist. I don't know any South American person who's ever been bummed by like being called spick or wetback or anything. Like it's in the racism war, it's always white versus black, and I've always just sat back and be like, I don't got a dog in this fight. I'm not like
so
Hispanic people are so laid back and they're like, whatever. No one's really racist to us.
Yeah, the federal government doesn't like Mexicans. And that's kind of like where the buck stops. And people forget that Mexico is 1/4 white. Like Mexico City, the most populated city in the world, has millions of like bleach white Mexicans that are like 5th generation Mexican, and they're as white as me.
That's the same with like Argentina, all the Nazis that went down there, Argentina and Chile, and I think even Brazil has a bunch of white people. Blonde hair, curly blonde hair, white people speaking Spanish.
So Mexicans that's the funniest thing to me is when like overly woke people are like, you're racist against Mexicans, and you're like, oh God, Mexican's not a race. Like you fucking weirdo, go say that. If you say that to Mexicans, you're gonna weird them out.
But if I talk about Mexican race, everyone knows what I'm talking about.
That's the fucked up thing, isn't it? That's like the most racist thing.
I refer to myself as Mexican because I don't want to explain to people like, well, my mom's from this country, and then sometimes they'll be like, where's that? And I'm like, you don't know? Okay. And I'm just like, I'm Mexican. I tan well.
That's like how my grandpa is like not racist at all, and he's so old, and I've always been super impressed with him. I remember when I was young, I used to try and like get the racism out of him, like to try and figure out which ones he didn't like. And he really is not he's not racist at all. The thing he does that's the racist is he'll be like, that black feller down the street came and talked to me, and you're like, oh, it sounds weird when you say it like
when
that.
you say old ways.
Yeah. He's like that. He's always like the black feller. He's real nice, and I'm like, okay. And then but yeah, if you're like, I'm from South America, and he's like, just so Mexican, and you're like, no, like Chile, and he's like, I don't care.
Yeah,
like,
well, I don't even care to explain.
Yeah, he's always just like, so Mexican. You're like, okay, sure.
There was recently a video of Joe Biden. You know how he's just
his brain is smooth.
It's rotting.
It's gone.
He was talking. He was like listing off a bunch of race stuff, and he's just like African Americans and brown people and black people, and I'm like, you already said that one. Like I think,
he did
like
it
I don't
twice.
like. Why would you say the more woke African American and black? That's funny.
Wait, isn't African American not woke anymore?
You know what? I think African American and black are two separate things, because black people from outside of America would be black people, and African Americans are black people in America.
Oh yeah, it's true. Did I tell you?
So maybe he's more woke than me.
I did a show recently with a guy, and I can't remember his name, or I'd say it. He was so funny, but he's black. He's like actually from Africa, and he was like clowning on African Americans and like trying to get me in on it. And I've never been more uncomfortable in my whole life. I was like, no. And he's like, these motherfuckers. And he just kept saying the N-word. And he's like, you know what I'm fucking talking about. These people here in America, you don't even like them. And I was like, what? And he's like, I'm cool, though. And I was like, no, what? No, I'm cool with everyone who's everyone.
No, I'm going to take a stance. I like black people, American black people, more than African black people. I'm a nationalist.
I mean, dude, it was so uncomfortable. And he was like making fun of, in his set, he was making fun of African Americans for being like having a chip on their shoulder, and he was like, you know, I'm black. And I was just like, oh my God.
Dude, I don't care what race you are. If you're American, we're going to take on the world.
Dude.
Come here.
It's just like when Chinese people in Flushing are like, what's the fucking deal with Puerto Ricans? And you're like, I'm not on this with you. Just because I'm white doesn't mean I'm racist with you, dog. You got to be racist by yourself.
It's not racist. It's just everyone knows the deal here.
Dude, people just assume I'm racist all the time.
You think it's the tattoos?
Yeah,
they add to
do. I do think it's the tattoos, and not in the. And they never think I'm racist in a bad way. Like I've never had black people be like, "So what are you, a Nazi?" I'll just have like people of other races be like, "I know you want to talk shit." Like, no, I don't. I'm not on the team.
You know what you need to get? You need to get a swastika on your forehead.
Okay.
But then with a big red canceled out symbol on top of it.
God.
So people know when they look at you, they'll be like, oh, he's not one of those guys.
You know how stupid I am? Do you remember when Trump got elected and they made the 45 with the slash through it?
No, I don't know what that is.
Oh, it was like a really popular symbol because he's the 45th president.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I'd been seeing that thing and I was like, is that a play on Nazis or Trump or like?
Yeah, because
it looks like a swastika kind of, and I was like, what is this? I only realized that it was because he was the 45th president like 2 days ago. I was like, damn, I'm fucking stupid as hell, dude. I just did not understand.
Yeah, there's always the Twitter trends like boo 45, and I'm always, my mind always goes to like Colt 45, like, oh, is this a new malt liquor? Like,
the people are mad.
Yeah, or like 45 also, isn't that a gun round, or am I stupid? 45 caliber?
Yeah, 45 caliber is a very popular pistol round. Yeah, 45 caliber fucks you up.
It's a pretty big round.
Yeah, that's the one that blows like basketball-sized holes in you when you shoot those hollow points.
Well, it's like the second biggest round before Desert Eagle 50 cal.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, well, in 45, a 45 revolver, I think, is like a popular snub nose. 38 is one too, but
that'll just wound you. A 45 will kill you.
I think a 45
will kill you if it hits you in that hand.
A 45 is what you load into a 1911.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. More history facts. In World War II, the Germans got all mad at us because they had been fighting for like 3 years with all of the weapons. Like the French, the British, and the Germans were like, this is how our weapons work. And then Americans showed up and they were like, we brought shotguns and 45 caliber pistols. And they're like, hey, don't let the Americans shoot you. You'll just die. Like, they're not trying to, because back then, a lot of war was wounding people, like, on purpose.
Yeah.
And then we showed up and we're like, they're like, how do you do it? And we're like, we had spent the last, like, 100 years trying
shooting
to kill
each other.
Yeah, shooting each other. So no mercy there. And then trying to kill all the American Indians. And so.
Well, think about our very first war against Britain.
Yeah.
And we're like, they're all like, all right, everybody line up. We're going to go to war. And we're like, oh, we're not going to win this unless we cheat.
Yeah, totally. So
wait a minute. Where are they? Why are they shooting from the trees?
We just showed up and they were like, all right, so this is how we're doing things. And then we were like, oh, we're going to do it our way. And we just were murdering people.
Is that how we've done it ever since? Is that why we were like, okay, we got to have the most nukes. We got to have the most Navy ships.
We fight war differently than anyone else. That's like why we're so good at everything. Even naval combat, people were like, wow, Americans are just out of fucking control. When the Civil War happened, European advisors observed the Civil War, and when they wrote back to their countries and were like, this is what the Civil War in America looks like, people didn't believe them. They were like, what? They're doing what? And they're like, yeah, they're dying at like 100,000 people at a time. And they're like, nah, we don't believe you. And that's part of why World War I was so bad. Because they were using old tactics because they didn't believe what the Civil War was like.
You gotta update it.
Yeah. Anyway, Germans tried to have a meeting to cancel shotguns. And we were like, no, fuck you, pussies. Make your own shotguns if you don't like them.
That's wild because, like, mustard gas was banned, right?
Yeah, mustard gas.
They're like, all right, that's too much. Shotguns, too much.
No, yeah, dude. They were just like, shotguns are fucking crazy. Yeah, dude. So.
Well, also, like, in the Civil War times, didn't, like, all the rich people go out on like another hill and just watch the battles?
Yeah.
And everyone was just cool with that?
Well, the Battle of the Bull Run, a bunch of rich people sat to try and watch, and then the Union and the Confederacy were like started robbing them in the middle of the battle. They were
Fuck
like,
yeah.
They brought their families and shit on a hill, and at one point the Union.
Would they just look at each other like, wait, why are we shooting each other?
Yes.
They became woke.
Literally at one point they were like, fuck your rich dumbass, give me your, and they started robbing the people picnicking and shooting them and shit, and
Hell
then they were
yeah.
like, all right, we'll meet back here tomorrow and kill each other, cool, and they left.
We're gonna go buy new guns.
Yeah. That's so funny. And I think another battle where people tried to watch was Antietam, and they like got killed.
Well,
someone shot one of those cannons with the ball and chain on it that spins.
Yeah.
And it killed a whole bunch of observers, which is pretty funny.
Can't wait for another Civil War where we all will
Line
become
up.
woke and we're like, wait a minute. We don't want to kill each other. We want to kill the politicians and the rich people. And
Okay.
That'll be fun.
I thought you were saying you want another Civil War because it will precede a world war.
Because South America will rise.
The entire American continent versus everybody else.
While white people and black people are busy fighting all the Mexicans.
Oh!
We'll lead an army from South America.
Do you promise you'll warn me?
No, I'll probably just die instantly. One of those deals.
Cool.
Well, there you go.
Should we plug some stuff?
What do you got to plug?
I've got shows in Utah.
You still doing that? You still got shows?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Are you still doing comedy? Still doing that thing? Yes. I've got shows. The 31st of January and the 1st of February. And so they're at wiseguyscomedy.com is where you can get tickets, or ShayneSmithComedy.com. You can find the shows there. I've also got shows coming up in Canada from the 21st up until the 28th. Go to my website to find more details on that. I'll be in northeastern Canada, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Where does Canada fall in the Civil War with America? Whose side? I guess they'd take the north side. When the Civil War happens again, it'll be South America in the south versus Canada in the north.
Yeah, I guess.
That'd be fun.
A contingent of Canadians fought for the South, though.
Where else you going?
New Orleans. I'm going...
No, you're not going to New Orleans.
No. I'm going to... Why does my schedule say Idaho?
Who cares? Just go to your website.
Yeah, I'm going to be in Massachusetts, March 20th and 21st.
It's all there.
That's where it is, everybody. Follow me on social media, and you'll find that shit.
Yeah, if you go to our website, cowboyboys.rodeo, You can click on stuff there. You can send us emails at Cowboy Boys Podcast. We got our Amazon banners that if you click on and buy something within 24 hours, we get a little kickback.
True.
Helps us a little bit.
We've gotten some emails. We got a new sexy champion, and I don't even want to say more than that.
Oh, yes.
Just know that someone, a woman, stepped it up, defeated the guys with the dick pics, and really, she's ahead of everybody.
Yeah, she emailed us a video. I think they identify as they.
Oh,
it was a very feminine.
Whoopsie-daisy.
But, and they kept their panties on, but we saw the butthole, the sides of it.
Ooh, which is great. But give us the butthole. Butthole is the new boob.
We also got a lot of pictures of people's pets, their dogs.
Yeah, we got a lot of pet pictures. We got
that girl was riding the horse.
Dude, we got a lady on a horse.
There was the someone sent us a picture of the rabbit. So we're getting nudes, animals.
Yeah, my bad on the pronoun, by the way.
No, I didn't. I'm just memory.
Well, no, it's good.
I don't remember. I want to
listen. As much as I do make fun of people for being woke, I mean, genuinely, if you have a preference, I'll just call you what you prefer to be called. I'm not an asshole.
Yeah, and then so go to our website, cowboyboys.rodeo. You can interact with us there. Also, we've been getting a lot of good reviews. If you go to iTunes and leave us a review, you don't even have to leave us a review. If you just rate us, that helps. That keeps us on top of iTunes. You just write
butthole is the new boob.
We got to the top of the front page of iTunes because of all the reviews. So thank you, everybody.
Yeah, if you're new and you've made it this far into the podcast, wow, cool.
Leave us a review. You can say, I think, almost anything. Yeah. I think you can't swear. No slurs.
Yeah, I think so. I've had a few people message me and be like, I said something and they didn't let me do it. I was like, damn. What did you say?
A for effort. But people do say wild stuff in the reviews, which we love reading. Yeah, that's all I got to say. Thank you for everything.
All right. I'm going to go to Brooklyn.
All right. Sounds good. Yeehaw.
Yeehaw, everybody.